When should I use hard money as a new real estate investor? Well, first off, it's really important that you realize that hard money isn't because it's hard to get. Hard money is because the lender is looking upon the hard asset rather than what the borrower brings to the table in terms of debt to income, how much money they make, what their credit scores are, and like you would have with a typical mortgage. See, with a typical type of a mortgage loan, the lender's looking at your ability to repay that loan over time. They're also looking at the property to make sure the property is in good condition, that you're not going to have some expensive bills that is going to cause you to go into a foreclosure situation and not be able to afford it, which is why they get an FHA appraisal done to make sure the condition of the property is inhabitable, and those things. And there's quite a list, 50 pages that they go through to make sure that the property's in good condition. And so that's kind of where that's kind of like your soft assets is your credit score, your ability to repay, your job history, how many years you've been there, all that type of documentation that they would do in type of a normal loan for a normal mortgage loan. Well, hard money is going to look at a few of those things, but not most of them. The hard money is going to say, what is the value of the asset versus what we're lending. That's the whole idea, is what is the value of the asset versus what I am lending is what the hard money. Now they're going to want to make sure you're not a criminal. Hard money is going to want to make sure that you don't have judgments or collections, things that could come and affect the property or affect their position potentially. So those things are going to be there, but it's not like, hey, your credit score is 2 points under where it needs to be, you can't get this loan. No, it doesn't work like that. So that's the hard money because we're lending on the hard asset. Now, some hard money lenders are going to lend on what's called the after repaired value versus the as is value. Okay. So the as is value is what is the property worth the way that it sits right now? Well, that's typically about what you buy it for. So if the purchase price was 100, chances are it's probably worth 100. The after repaired value is what is it going to be worth once the work is done to the property. So what that's going to say is, hey, if this house was all fixed up, this house would be worth $200,000. And then we say, how much will it cost to get this work done? $50,000. And then what are we buying it for? Say we buy it for somewhere $100,000. Now, if the hard money lender is lending on the after repaired value, they'll typically go up to somewhere around 70, 75%, maybe less, maybe more, depending upon some deductions of what your purchase, your rehab, your closing costs are. So let's look at some simple math here. Okay. So if it's 150,000, divided by after repaired value of 200,000, that's 75%. So it would have to be all your costs. So it'd have to be the rehab, your closing costs, and 5 months of payments. All would have to be wrapped into that $50,000. So let's say the rehab's like 35,000, the other costs around 15, and then this would work at the 75. Now, we can do a loan or we can lend 100% of the purchase, the rehab, the closing costs, as long as all that is under 75% of the after repaired value of the property. It's got to be substantiated. There's got to be good comps, that type of stuff, because there's a higher risk for us as a lender doing something like that. This is where hard money lending makes a lot of sense for a newer investor. If you're a newer investor and you're working with a hard money lender that's just lending on the as is value and they lend 75%, that means you're going to have to come up with 25,000 plus you're going to have to come up with the rehab money, the closing costs, which means you're coming in with $75,000. Well, if the lender is going to use the after repaired value to determine and put these things into it, yes, that makes a lot of sense because then you can come into a deal with little to no money. And that's where it really makes a lot of sense. Now, if your credit's not great, you're not going to be able to go get these long-term rental loans or DSCR loans. You're going to have decent credit to get that. It doesn't have to be amazing, but it's going to have to be decent. And so what this does is allow someone that doesn't have that decent credit to be able to do it as long as they're not criminals in the middle of a bankruptcy, in the middle of getting foreclosed on. It allows you the opportunity to go and do a deal like this. The other thing is if you do have good credit, it allows you to do this, and we're into the property $150,000, and now you can refinance into a DSCR, debt service coverage ratio loan, and get most of that money paid for so you can pay off the hard money lender, and you're into this deal little to no money. Okay, so basically what you've done is the property value, and typically when they do the DSCR, they want to be around 80%. So if the property value has increased because of the work that has been done, and then you can do a refinance out, you're getting into a rental property with very little money down, which is kind of the golden nugget, especially for newer investors, is how can I get cash flowing assets that will go up in value that I can buy as many as possible with as little money as possible. And that's really what the hard money comes into play. So there's two things. One, if you're doing a fix and flip, that works out really well. If you're doing a fix to hold, the hard money comes first, and then you'd refinance into a long-term 30-year mortgage. And the reason why is because the 30-year loan is not going to allow you to do the property if it's in need of work. And you're probably not going to get that great of a deal unless the property is in need of work. So then you do what's called value add. You buy the property, you add value to the property, and then you're going to refinance that property and keep it if the long-term rentals. Now, if you don't have credit where you can do the refinance, no problem. You can sell it, you can make a profit, you can use that profit to then take care of some of those credit challenges to then enhance your credit score so you can do it again another time if you need to pay some of those things off, or again, and do the refinance once your credit scores have bounced up. You'd be amazed how much they bounce up once you get those things taken care of. So that's where hard money comes into the picture. The other thing with hard money is it's typically a quicker closing, doesn't care about the condition of the property, and is going to be something that is going to be more flexible when you're dealing with investment properties. So that's when hard money makes sense for a newer real estate investor, is if you're trying to get in with as little money as possible, or if you're trying to do a fix and flip without having to bring a ton of money, or if you're trying to do a flip and hold transaction and refinancing it into long-term funding.